Well, Georgia's defense absolutely dominates for the second week in a row. This week's victim, UAB. That's right, Georgia's defense scored not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, but 8 touchdowns, and Georgia beats UAB 56-7. And the 7 points that UAB had came on a defensive touchdown of their own as Carson Beck managed to throw a pick 6 in the fourth quarter of this game. So shout out to Georgia's defense. 8 touchdowns today. Georgia has no offense. Now, we were supposed to go 1-11. Well, it's been weird, right? Everyone told me all year, oh, Georgia's gonna lose to Clemson and lose one other game, and they'll go 10-2. And then we beat Clemson, and it was, well, Georgia's going 1-11 because they have no offense. Lou, your offense is terrible. You have no offense, Lou. You're going 1-11. Now, we managed to beat UAB today by scoring 8 defensive touchdowns because we have no offense. So now I'm assuming we're going 2-10, but you guys will have to let me know in the comments section. And it won't even matter. Our offense is so bad, it won't even matter when we get back our top 4 pass catchers, which have missed the first 2 games. It won't matter when we get Kearis Jackson back. It won't matter when we get Darnell Washington back. It won't matter when we get Dominique Blaylock back. It won't matter when we get George Pickens back. It definitely won't matter when we get back the best returning safety in all of college football, Tyke Smith, who's also missed the first 2 games. None of that will matter. Won't matter when we get JT Daniels back, our starting quarterback who didn't play today. None of that will matter because Georgia's got no offense. If you don't believe me, just look in the UncleLou comment section all last week. Georgia's terrible. It's a miracle Georgia's ever able to win a game at all. It's just the strangest thing. But somehow, Georgia managed to come out on top today, 56-7 over UAB. There's some other great games on, too. Texas A&M, man, what were y'all doing? Y'all must have been out there smoking weed all week in Colorado. Weed's legal out there. It doesn't mean you have to smoke it. Texas A&M showed up and didn't do jack shit until the very end of the game. They were losing 7-3 for pretty much the entire game before scoring a touchdown near the end there. They escaped that place with a win. They beat Colorado 10-7. This Iowa State game is pretty good. Was it 20-10 or something like that? Or did Iowa just score again here? No, dropped it. It's a good game going there, Iowa State. I picked Iowa in that one. Ohio State lost to Oregon. I talked about that already. So, but yeah, Stetson Bennett. Nobody, who cares? I mean, it doesn't impress me. I'm glad he played well. I like Stetson Bennett. I've got nothing against him. I still think Carson Beck should have started this game and played every single snap. He needs experience. That's all, and I don't understand. But anyway, it is what it is. He did come in and play a lot. Hell, they even let Brock Vandagriff come in and hand the ball off one time. Did y'all see that? That was amazing. Brock Vandagriff might be the best handoffer person UJ's ever had. We'll see in 3 years when maybe he gets to start a game. I don't know. But anyway, the defense lights out again today. Obviously, I thought the receivers that did play played great. Brock Bowers is going to be really, really good, that freshman tight end. He had a great game against Clemson. Another great game today against UAB. He's really, really good. I'm excited to see him play in Athens for the next couple of years. True freshman tight end there, Brock Bowers. Got South Carolina coming up next week. I would like to get some of our offensive players back. I mean, I want to see some of these guys get out there and play. Kearis Jackson, Don Blaylock. Those two I know are really, really close to coming back. Darnell Washington, really close to coming back. George Pickens probably going to be November before we see him, but I'd like to get those other 3 guys, or those other 2 guys back, Don Blaylock and Kearis Jackson, and obviously JT Daniels. I don't think his injury is all that serious. In fact, I think if today's game would have been a little bit more difficult or meaningful, I think he probably would have played. I mean, he dressed out. It's not like he was in street clothes. I mean, he was dressed out on the sideline. So, and nothing against UAB, but I think if this would have been maybe a little bit tougher of a test, he probably would have sucked it up and played. So we'll see what happens next week with South Carolina, but boy, they're a damn joke, South Carolina. What a disaster of a program they are. Just a complete failure, South Carolina is. Beamer Ball died 15 years ago, and it's not coming back. I don't understand. But what is South Carolina's problem? Well, they got a million problems. But they love getting leftovers or things that are used up or leeching off of, oh my God, let's go get Steve Spurrier. We could be the new Florida. No, it didn't work. Well, let's go get Lou Holtz. He won a national title at Notre Dame. No, that didn't work. And then And then Will Muschamp goes to Florida, wins 4 or 5 games a year. South Carolina sitting around going, oh, let's get him. And now, Frank Beamer, oh my God, a special teams guru. He's the one that made people realize special teams matter. Great, that was 20 years ago. Then you go out, you hire Frank Beamer? No, he's 99 years old. You want to hire his son Shane. I mean, it's just not going to work. You're hiring, you're starting a customer service clerk at starting quarterback is Zeb Nolan. I mean, it's just, I don't understand what South Carolina's doing, but the game you just watched Georgia play this week, you're going to see a similar result to that next week, especially if some of those offensive players come back. Carolina's getting absolutely annihilated. Annihilated. Carolina beat us in 2019, the last time they played in Athens. So I'm sure that will be used by Georgia for motivation this week. And on top of that, the Carolina players, I don't know what, he beat Georgia in a regular season game. They tore up all the hedges and the bushes around Sanford Stadium. Okay, try that shit this year. We'll see what happens. But South Carolina's going to get humiliated next week. It's just a fact. I'm glad they won today because now they're 2-0. We give them their first loss. That'd be great. We gave the Taters their first loss. We gave UAB their first loss. Now we're about to give the Gamecock their first loss. I'm glad the game's in Athens, though. Even the players on Georgia that I've given a hard time over the years, or maybe some of the players that I haven't really liked, still, they don't deserve to have to go to Columbia, South Carolina and spend any amount of time in that dump. Williams-Brice Trailer Park. Have any of y'all ever been there, Williams-Brice? Let me stop. I'm turning this into a Friday video. I'll have plenty to say about South Carolina this Friday on the Hype and Hate video. I can't stand those bumpkins. Anyway, good thing we're going to beat them by 40 or 50 points this coming weekend. But Georgia, number 2, ranked number 2 in America, will remain number 2 in America. Bama will remain number 1 after struggling with Mercer, but coming out on top today with an amazing win over the Mercer Bears. So the Gumps will stay at number 1. Georgia will stay at number 2. Ohio State, you're getting knocked way down the doo-doo list. Clemson will probably move up a spot or 2. We'll see what Oklahoma does. Cincinnati will be moving up. They destroyed Murray State. Texas A&M might drop with that win, honestly. That was not impressive at all. And whoever wins this Iowa State game, I think, is going to make a significant jump, too. Right now, it's 24-10. Iowa's on top. 2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Notre Dame might have been the luckiest team of all today. They trailed for most of that game. Got a lead late. Then they let Toledo score again to take the lead back with like 2 minutes to go. Notre Dame did end up scoring with like a minute to go in that game to win, but man, they look terrible. 2 weeks in a row, Notre Dame has beat a terrible team by 3 points. Man, the shine is gone off of those Rudy helmets, ain't it? Yeah, it is. Anyway, no live stream tonight for the primetime games, but I will be uploading some reaction videos. There's some great games coming on, like I mentioned. That Texas-Arkansas game, I think, is going to be really good. Washington at Michigan. And I think the Missouri-Kentucky game might be pretty good, or at least interesting to watch. Kentucky passing game looked really good last week. We'll see if they can keep it up this week against an SEC opponent in Missouri. So I'll make a reaction video or 2 later on tonight. But anyway, go Dogs and have a great day. Gamecock, man, I'll see you Friday, you illiterate prick.